Here is a true event-based narrative that weaves together the Patterson-Gimlin film and the Skookum Cast discoveries, two of the most significant pieces of alleged Bigfoot evidence, sing to a single chronological and thematic story. All the core details are real, based on documented claims and field reports. This version presents the events with a narrative tone, but without fictionalizing the core facts. The Tracks and the Shadow, a narrative of two Bigfoot encounters. In the dense evergreen forests of the Pacific Northwest, there are stories that linger longer than footprints. Such stories, separated by over 3 decades, continue to stir debate among believers and skeptics alike. One gave the world an iconic image, the other, a massive and cryptic impression in the mud. Both claim to reveal the presence of something unknown walking our world. Bluff Creek, California, October 20, 1967. It began in the wilderness of Northern California. Along Bluff Creek, Roger Patterson, a rodeo rider and amateur Bigfoot researcher, and Bob Gimlin, a seasoned outdoorsman, were on horseback, carrying a 16mm film camera and a quiet sense of purpose. Patterson had long been fascinated by accounts of a giant, upright walking creature that left massive tracks in the forest floors. For years, rumors of Sasquatch filtered through native legends, loggers' tales, and explorer journals. But no one had ever captured it. Then, in a flash of movement by a stream, the camera began to roll. The figure that appeared on the film, later known simply as Patty, was tall, broad-shouldered, and striding on 2 legs. As the film shakes from the sudden movement, the creature glances back over its right shoulder in a single, unforgettable moment. Frame 352 of that film would become the most scrutinized image in cryptozoological history. Scientists and skeptics descended on the footage. Some called it a man in a suit. Others, including anatomists, claimed that the proportions and gait suggested something non-human. The footage lacked the resolution to provide a definitive answer, but it was enough to mark Bluff Creek as sacred ground in Bigfoot lore. Years passed, no clearer footage emerged. But the belief didn't die, it deepened. Skookum Meadows, Washington, September 2000. Decades after Patterson's film, another group of Bigfoot researchers set out to find evidence not with cameras, but with bait and casting material. Members of the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization (BFRO) had gathered in Skookum Meadows, a remote and muddy area within the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in Washington state. The team left a bait station of fruit, sweet corn, and other food on the ground, hoping to lure in something unusual. Then they waited. When they returned, the food was gone, but what stunned them was not what was missing, but what had been left behind. In the soft, wet earth was an enormous impression. It appeared to show a body, chest, arm, hip, and a large thighs, though a massive creature had reclined or lain down to reach the bait. The cast, once fully poured and lifted, measured more than 3 by 5 feet. Unlike blurry photos or anecdotal sightings, this was physical evidence-y piece of terrain molded by something. Grover Krantz, a respected anthropologist who had defended the Patterson-Gimlin film, analyzed the cast. So did wildlife biologist Dr. John Bindenagel. Both men saw anatomical details: a possible heel, an Achilles tendon, a large hairy forearm that suggested something more than just an elk wallow. Skeptics were quick to point out that known animals, particularly elk or bear, could explain parts of the impression, yet others countered that no single known species could explain the full combination of shapes, angles, and depth. The cast was stored, photographed, and presented to researchers, but again, like the film in 1967, it was fascinating, suggestive, and ultimately inconclusive. A pattern: in the wilderness between Bluff Creek and Skookum Meadows lies a swath of deep forest, remote valleys, and places where human presence fades quickly into the background. The two events, separated by 33 years and 500 miles, bookend a mystery that refuses to resolve. The Patterson-Gimlin film gave a face to the myth. The Skookum Cast offered the shape of a body. Both fueled a debate that is now part of North American folklore and fringe science alike. And in the minds of those who have seen the footage or stood next to the cast, a question remains. If it wasn't Bigfoot, what was it?